Hi, happy Halloween. So I don't expect a huge turnout tonight, since it is Halloween and people are probably busy either handing out candy or taking their kids trick-or-treating. But welcome to everybody who is in the Q&A. We don't get trick-or-treaters where I am, so there's nothing going on. So I was like, I'll just keep with the program and go live. Hi, Susie. How are you? Hi, Missy. Hi, Jacqueline. Hi, Craig. Hi, Diana. Hi, Larry. Hey, Crystal. Sorry you've had a rough day. Let's see. I think that might be about it that's in the chat. Hey, Sally. How are you? Hi, Karen. How are you? So, I mean, we could kind of keep this pretty quick and easy if you want, or whatever, I'm here. So, hey, good morning, John. How's Barry doing? Hi, Mary. Hi, Mary B. So, I don't think I have any news. I'm feeling better than last time we were here together for a Q&A. Hi, Abbo. Hey, Debbie. Happy Halloween. Hi, Christian. My back is better. It's kind of funny. Like I've been doing a little bit different of a routine. So normally what I would do is I would test recipes for part of the day. Then I would do computer work for part of the day. Then I would basically like be worthless, right? And I said, let me break that up a little bit. So it's kind of interesting because I'm not a napper and I really don't like fall asleep. But midday, like I say, okay, I'm gonna just stretch my back out and lay down in the bed and turn on a little show or something and just kind of relax for about an hour. And it's really helped a lot, made me a whole lot more productive. So very happy about that. Hi, Leanne. Hi, Anne. Oh my gosh. Midnight in Belfast. Hi, Brenda. Welcome. It's Brenda's first live. So, if you're new to Tasty Tuesday, this is not Tasty Tuesday. I don't know where that came from. This is the live Q&A. I go live every Tuesday. One Tuesday is Tasty Tuesday. The next Tuesday is Q&A, and they just alternate. And the reason why I do that is because Jeff is off every other week. So when he's off, we do Tasty Tuesday because I need two people there. Well, I need him and me. I'm usually the one cooking, although sometimes we've let him cook. And he mans the camera. So he just got home. So the dogs are a little rambunctious, but that will settle down as long as they settle down, right? They're showing off now for daddy. Okay, so you know what? This is not the time. This is not the place. Indoor activities. If you want to play, go outside. Okay, there we go. And then the Q&A, which is what we're doing now, is basically ask your cooking questions. They can be ninja related. They don't have to be ninja related. It can be anything. And I answer them the best I can. Or if I can't answer them, oftentimes I'll turn to the chat and ask other people to answer them because we all have different experiences when it comes to cooking. And even the most novice home cook has something of value to give. Okay. Even if it's just asking a question, because if you have the question, trust me, other people do too. Hey, Joni, how are you? So anyway, I don't really have any other updates. Do we have any? Oh my God. Come over here. What? Come over here. Get on camera. That's hysterical. So Jeff just turned around and I'll let him show you. Oh my gosh, he's so funny. Well, you got to bend down. Should I put that on? No, I don't want to put that on.
Put one on.
Your nose.
You can put it on here.
I don't want to
It
put
won't
it.
mess your makeup on.
Oh, I don't care about the makeup. Oh, that's weird. Yeah, that just makes me look heavier. I don't think I want to wear it. Oh my gosh. Anyway, so Debbie, pumpkin pie. I do have something like a pumpkin pie on my website. And for 2 years now, probably 3 years, I have bought a little pumpkin, like little, the sweet pumpkins that you actually use to make your own homemade pumpkin puree for pumpkin pie. And I forget to cook them. They sit as a decoration and I forget to cook them. And I have one over in my office area, well, my kitchen area, which I guess is my office. And I still haven't cooked it. So anyway, so that's the story with that. But I do have a pumpkin pie. I think I have 2 different variations of pumpkin pie. What I'm putting out this year is a pumpkin crumble. So it's basically shortbread crust. It's kind of going to be in a bar form. So it's easy. Like if you don't want to mess around with the pie, you can either make a small batch or you can make a large batch if you're having a lot of guests over. So it's shortbread crust, super easy to make. Shortbread crust, the pumpkin pie filling, and then it's got a crumble on top. And I just got that finished testing because I needed to tweak some of the spices. And we'll be filming that and I'll be getting that out. I also have been testing a copycat version of honey ham. And I'm happy to say that I did it in the oven and I did it in the foodie. The oven ham was much bigger. It was 8 pounds. The foodie ham was a boneless 5 pound, 4.5, 5 pound ham. And they both turned out great. So that is like the new thing for me. I had never had a honey baked ham before in my life. I almost fell off the chair when I found out how expensive they were. I mean, like this little teeny tiny ham, I think it cost me $70 or $80. It was boneless. I got a boneless spiral. I guess it's not really spiral sliced. They slice it down, but it's not exactly spiral sliced. And maybe they call it spiral. I don't know what they do. Anyway, it didn't look spiral sliced to me. It looked like it was just sliced. But it was nice because they were thicker than sometimes you get when you get the spiral. And I was shocked. I had no idea that the honey baked ham had this like hard sugar coating on top. So I was like, okay, well, I can do this. So I made my own like sugar spice blend and I thought it turned out fantastic. So Jeff, honest opinion, and really don't flatter me, but the honey baked ham versus my ham.
Yours is better.
Mine was better, but the ham itself wasn't better.
No, but it didn't matter if it tasted so good.
It did. Yeah, the ham itself, because I bought like the cheapest ham I could get, because ham's not cheap. And the ham flavor of the honey baked, like the ham itself, is a better quality. No doubt in my mind. So today I picked up one to test that was a little bit less expensive. And then I picked up a more expensive boneless sliced ham. And I haven't tested the other one yet. I'll be doing that at work, but I tested the one and it turned out good. I don't know. I might be able to show it to you in a minute. So it's in the foodie still. I mean, I made it and I put the sugar crust on, but I did a shortcut because I was just testing the recipe. I didn't sugarcoat it all over, just on the top, but basically to do it all over, you just take your time and do a side and then another side and then another side. It's a little labor intensive, but they're good. They're really good. All right. Whisper and Buster. Indoor activities. Auntie Louise, say Whisper and Buster. That's right. That's about the dogs playing inside. Like, use your indoor voices. Come on. Hi, Christy. How are you? All right. Crystal's got a question here. Just curious. Want to make some meatloaf, but I'm not sure what meatloaf mix is. And if I can't find that, what meat should I buy? Well, you can make meatloaf. The meatloaf mix that you buy in the store is usually ground beef, veal, and pork. I am almost positive about that. Now, I don't ever see that and I don't ever buy that. I make my meatloaf with straight hamburger, or ground beef, but you can absolutely buy ground pork and ground beef and make a really, really good like juicier type of meatloaf, Crystal. So if you don't like the veal, just skip that. Isn't that what's in the meatloaf mix? It's veal, pork, and ground beef.
Veal.
I think it's veal.
What is it? You buy it in the store?
Yeah, you can buy a meatloaf mix. Let's ask Google.
Veal seems a little expensive.
I know, but I really do think that's what it is. Yeah, ground beef, pork, and veal. I was right. Happy Halloween, Robin. Yeah, Mary, that's what I would say. Ground beef and ground pork. That's a great combination. And if you guys have not made pork burgers, like a ground pork burger, oh my goodness, they are so good. I'll have to do one. I'll have to do a recipe for one. Hey, Linda, how are you? Love Tasty and Question Tuesdays. Thank you. I do too. Yes, H Moore. The hash brown recipe is so easy to make. I mean, it's not as easy as buying them. It's not as easy as just air frying frozen patties, of course, but they're super easy to make and they are just so good. And you can customize them any way you want. So you can put all kinds of different seasonings in them. You know, I kept them pretty basic, but you can put all kinds of things. So you can really make them your own. I mean, that's what I love about making food from scratch or semi homemade, you know, because I'll use a can of something or, you know, things like that. But when you make things for yourself, you can tailor them to yourself and your family. You also will cut way back on sodium, even though people say that sometimes they think my recipes have too much salt in them. Trust me, it's nothing compared to what's in processed foods that you buy. So it's really nothing. Okay, Larry, I do have a recipe for pumpkin bread, and it is amazingly delicious, if I do say so myself. That's on my website, thesaltedpepper.com. Just type in pumpkin bread. I have zucchini bread, banana bread, pumpkin bread. I think the pumpkin bread, I don't remember if I did that in the foodie or not, but if I didn't do it in the foodie, then there is one that I did do in the foodie, like zucchini. You could sort of use those guidelines. Hi, Erin, how are you? I saw the weather, Mary, that people are having snow. Like my friend Lauren got snow in Chicago today. And then I saw somebody else, I guess it was in Illinois too, maybe, or maybe it was somewhere else, got some snow. We don't have snow, but we got a really, really quick cold front that came in. I mean, it dropped from like, I would say, what was it, 78 degrees to 40, Jeff?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. All right, Anne's got a combi question. Now, I'm not a combi expert, but I will do my best. Okay. Ninja combi question for Louise. I just bought the combi that included the Dutch oven, but no recipes or how to use it. Any ideas? Now, my understanding for the Dutch oven accessory is it's just another pan. It's just got deeper. It's just deeper. So you wouldn't need special recipes, but you could look for different recipes that are Dutch oven and see if they'll fit, because a lot of times a Dutch oven will be pretty big. So even though they're calling it a Dutch oven, it's because of the way that it's going to have a lid on and sort of steam inside, I would think, more so than like a big Dutch oven that you would put, you know, a whole chicken in or something like that to do, or bake bread in. Although you could probably bake bread in it. Bread in the combi is so incredible. I'm so excited about it. But as far as recipes, there wouldn't really be any specific different recipes for it. You would just use that, like, for example, if I had a 9x13 pan and an 8x8 pan, or I had a deeper pan versus a shallow pan, I would pick the deeper pan when I was going to have more juices. You know, I needed to keep it contained, wanted a lid on it, things like that. So it's really just a decision of what accessory you want to use more than what recipe would be used in it. I did just start a Ninja Combi group today. Our Ninja Speedy group decided to stay all speedy. And so I started a Ninja Combi group. So you can certainly join that if you haven't already. And you can ask the question there. I think I saw a question about that there already. I'm not sure if it was from you or for somebody else though. But yeah, it's just a different style pan. All right. Crystal says it might be easier if you just buy the canned pumpkin puree. Of course, it's easier, but I've never made my own. Okay, so I always buy the can because I mean, I can be lazy, but I want to make it myself because I hear it's so much better, and I'd like to test that theory. Is it that much better? But yeah, I do buy the can, and it's fine. Hi, Juliet. How are you? Juliet had snow today too. Oh, in Minnesota, Christy said it. They're snowing there too. Okay, so compressed ham here is foreign. Bone in is all Australian. So this one, this one's not compressed. I know what you're talking about. This one's not compressed, but it's like a half of a ham. So they take that center bone out, and it's just sliced on a spiral slicing machine or however they do it. I don't really know. But bone in ham, that's what I tested the recipe with the first time. It works amazingly well. And basically like you just heat your ham. Ham in the United States is almost always, in fact, I've never seen one not smoked, not cooked, not fully cooked. So you can get them not smoked, but they're always cooked. If you get something that isn't cooked, it's called a fresh ham and it's pork, right? I mean, it's the same thing, right? But it's not smoked. So if you get ham in the US, it's always cooked. But I understand that's not the case in all countries. So John, I'd be interested on your thoughts on that. Are your hams? Okay, guys, you need to calm down. This is not playtime. This is work time. Now, toe the line. Toe the line. They're like children. All day long, they're fine. All day long. You get on a phone call, you get on a live. No, they got to act up right behind me. So yeah, John, I'll be interested if your ham is fully cooked or not. Okay. Hi, Tamara. How are you? Okay. So, do I have an eggnog recipe? I do. I have an eggnog recipe for the foodie, and I have an eggnog recipe for the blender. So let me see if I can get a link. And it's good. It's really good. I think so anyway. Now let me see. Homemade eggnog. There we go. So I'll put the foodie one in because it could be done any way. Like you could do it on the stove. I'm pretty sure it's just a sear saute thing that I do. Oops, that's not the right one. There we go. Okay, eggnog recipe is being posted now. Now, Larry, I answered this question earlier, pumpkin bread, but you don't use a bread machine for pumpkin bread unless you're talking about like, an actual bread that just has some pumpkin in it. Pumpkin bread is a quick bread, usually. Okay, that's how it's referred to. When you say pumpkin bread, I think of quick bread. I'll put my recipe in there. You don't use a bread machine because it's not a yeast dough. It's a quick bread. It's baking powder. I guess you could technically use baking soda, but I think mine always uses, I think it's just baking powder. So it's the same. A quick bread is the same thing as like cornbread or banana bread or zucchini bread. So I will put that right here in the comments. And there is the pumpkin bread. And it's got an orange glaze. It's really, really good. All right, Sherry from Wisconsin, the snow has arrived. Oh my goodness. Isn't that early? I feel like it's so early, right? So April, she uses meatloaf and ground pork. I think that's amazing. I don't know why I never do that. I never think to do it. Hi, Jen. How are you? Pork and apple burgers. Oh my gosh. Yes, that sounds so amazing. You know what else would be really amazing? Pork burgers with my apple bourbon barbecue sauce. Oh my goodness, that would be good. And if you haven't made apple bourbon barbecue sauce, let me post that link because it is one of the most amazing things. It is so good on pork chops. Oh my gosh. It is so good. All right, I'll post that link there because that would be really good on a burger. And my banana jam. If you like interesting burgers, like we like them, we like really interesting burgers. We did one long time ago, way before the foodie. We did one called a brie and berry burger. Oh my gosh, it is so good. So we like interesting ones, but we do like what would be considered like the Elvis burger with peanut butter, and I put some of my banana jam on it. Oh my god, so good. We haven't done an interesting burger in a while, Jeff, have we?
Nope.
Might be time, huh?
Mhm.
Something new. We got to think of something. Think of something cool, right? All right, Cindy, I make smoked Cornish hens in the wood fire last week. They were great, but I bet you could do better. Could we get a recipe? I don't know if I could do better, but yeah, Cornish hens sound good. I've been working on right now a smoked turkey. The issue with smoking meats, like I'm getting some flack on YouTube already. Somebody tells me I don't know what I'm doing. Somebody else tells me that I have a long way to go to learn how to smoke meat, which is hysterical because I owned a barbecue restaurant. That's what I did. I smoked meat. So, I mean, I'm sure I have things to learn and everything, but I'm not a novice, you know? But anyway, yeah, people always pick. So they think that my appetizer recipe, the wood fire, what are they called? Moink balls. You would think I'd never forget that. My wood fire moink balls, they think they're burned. They think that I burn them up, and they're not. But if you smoke meat and like chicken or turkey or Cornish hens and you smoke, the skin's going to turn really dark. So it does look like they're have been burned, but they're not. Um, thank you, Neats. I appreciate that so much. The cats are doing their gymnastics now, so the dogs are interested in that. Um, All right, let's see here. Oh, Mary, you made the dehydrated cranberries. Aren't they good? Oh my gosh. Some not all of them get crunchy, right? So you've got that mixture, but if I could make them all crunchy, I would. I love them crunchy. Oh my gosh. But some of them they don't. Um, Happy Halloween, Missy. Charlotte, North Carolina is having a freeze, Spring Chaser says, and you're chasing spring. That's great. I wonder if I'm getting duplicate questions. Hey, Wendy Marino, how are you? Um, oh my gosh. So Indiana's got snow too. So it was Jacqueline that made that comment earlier. So I do have an eggnog recipe and I already posted it. So if you didn't see it, I can post it again. Um, all right, this is a good one. Okay, Jacqueline, I still don't understand how to do Fairlife milk to make yogurt. I have the 2-lid model, but it does not have the slider button, just the dial type. Okay, so there are 2 different ways on the 2 lids. Okay, it depends on what model you have. But you switch when you're using Fairlife. So let's just do a little quick yogurt, like little 2-minute tutorial. There's 2 different there's more than 2. Okay, I know there's more than 2. The flying cats are in the back. But the 2 main types are going to be your regular milk that you get in the big jug type of yogurt that you heat. And then the second one is an ultra pasteurized milk that you use. And Fairlife is a brand name. There's other ones, but people know Fairlife is the one that you can use for cold start yogurt. So cold start yogurt, it skips the initial boil phase. So when you're using the regular milk, even though it's pasteurized, you still need to bring it up to 182 degrees to kill any bacteria that's in there, because there are still some bacteria, or could still be some bacteria in our pasteurized milk. It's not enough to harm you, right? So it's fine. And we store the milk in the refrigerator, which is below that danger zone where bacteria multiply. So you're not going to get sick from it. But when we ferment with it, If we don't kill off the bacteria before we ferment, we're going right into the danger zone because yogurt is bacteria multiplying. It's just the good type of bacteria, right? And we don't want the bad bacteria, which is optimal temperatures for those as well. We don't want those to multiply, okay? So that's why we have to boil our whole milk that is not ultra pasteurized. Okay. Now, when you use Fairlife, you skip that process as long as your Fairlife has not been opened. If your ultra pasteurized milk has been opened, you must treat it like regular pasteurized milk because as soon as it's open, bacteria can get in there. You know, they can get in there just from the air. There's bacteria everywhere. So a new container that's closed, that's ultra pasteurized of milk, you skip the heating process. So you pour it in, you mix in your starter, your yogurt starter, and then you go to ferment. On the Ninja Foodie, there are different ways that this happens. It's usually with the, and let me think, what button it is. Hang tight because I've got one over here, the 2-lid model. Let me refresh my memory because I haven't done it in a while. So hang tight. Let me just make sure I say this right. It's the temp button. Yes. Okay. Okay, so on the 2-lid Ninja Foodie models, you have your temp buttons, up and down arrows, and you have your timer up and down, okay? This is for a 6.5 quart that has push buttons, okay? Because they had to make it complicated. They different styles. So the 6.5 quart with the push buttons, you push your your temp button down one, and it will change from ferment. It will change from boil to ferment. So you skip the boil phase. Okay, Jacqueline. If you have the 8-quart push button, it's the same thing. If you have the 8-quart that has the dial, I believe you have to dial it down one. So if you want to send me an email, Jacqueline, Louise at thesaltedpepper.com with your exact model, I will write down the instructions for you so that you can do it because there are slight variations. But the most important thing is when you select the yogurt button, or dial, okay? And some of them are combination slow cook and yogurt. You got to dial down from slow cook to yogurt, or you got to push a button or something. But when you're on the yogurt, if you just hit start, it'll boil. So you've got to adjust it down to bypass that that stage, or you'll kill your culture. Okay. So that's like the long and the short answer. And it's not exact because there are differences between each model. So just email me with which one you have and I'll write the instructions down for you. And if you have my course, I go over that in the course too. So I'm not sure, Jacqueline, if you have the Ninja Basics and Beyond online course, but I go over every single model, how to work the yogurt button. Okay, because it changes a little bit. All right, let's see. Oh, okay. That's interesting. Susie says the best ham I've ever had in my life. My mother-in-law used to make a picnic ham boil for 1 hour in Dr. Pepper, then wrap up super tight in quilts. I don't think quilts. We don't wrap our ham in quilts, do we? What? I'm not sure though. But probably wrap it up in something like, I don't know that you would use a quilt though, but for 24 hours and put it in the fridge, I guess. Sounds good. I've never, a lot of recipes call for Dr. Pepper. It's the acid in it and stuff, but I don't, I've never cooked with Dr. Pepper, but I hear it's really good. All right. So Leanne's chiming in. She knows a little bit more about the combi than I do, a lot more actually. There's no instructions, verified with Ninja. Soup, stews, and roast are great in there. Okay. So yeah, that's good. So when you have more liquid, you want to use the deeper pan. That's what you would use it for. All right. Okay, so April's getting ready to plant a garden, which is like, okay, well, I'm done with my garden. Where do you live? Florida. All right. All right. Very good. Yes, Missy, I do have a banana nut bread recipe. It's in the Ninja Foodie and it uses a pan, unfortunately, that is no longer available. So I have been meaning to, and I have not done it yet, but I've been meaning to buy a new pan and test the recipe just to make sure that it works. But it's a little bundt style pan, so I'm pretty sure it's going to work in any small bundt pan. And I'll post that recipe here right now for the banana bread. Okay. All right. No knead bread in the Dutch oven. I use my regular Dutch oven for that. I'm not sure what the question is, Mary. If you could kind of clarify that a little bit. Like, do I have a no knead bread? I don't have a no knead bread recipe. I'm putting out a video, and I'm not sure when exactly it's going to come out, but I'm putting out a video that goes over a no recipe bread, because I think people get really caught up in the amounts of ingredients, and they go by recipes like 100%, and then they don't have the results they want because they're not paying attention to the dough. The dough tells you what it needs. So basically, the way that I make bread is I never follow a recipe. I follow guidelines. So I use like a half a teaspoon of yeast, and this is not for all bread recipes. It's just a basic bread. Okay, I use a half a teaspoon of yeast, instant yeast per cup of flour. And then I'll decide how many cups of flour I'm going to use based on what I'm going to make. Like if I'm making a smaller loaf, it could be 2 or 3 cups. If I'm making a bigger loaf, it could be 4, 5, or 6 cups of bread. I mean, of flour. So, and then I just add water until the dough tells me it's optimally hydrated. And that is usually a little on the wetter side. So that's kind of what's behind the no knead recipes. They make them a little bit wetter at first, and you just stir it together and then you just let it sit. So what's happening is you're letting the flour absorb all that water, you're letting the gluten develop, and it's kind of doing its own little thing without you having to knead it. And I do a variation of that. But I've never actually spent the time. I don't plan ahead enough. So if I want to make bread, I usually want it within an hour or two. And so I'm rushing to get it done. And no knead bread needs to sit. And then usually a lot of them will proof overnight in the refrigerator. So, all right, let's see. 20s tonight in Tennessee. It's not quite that cold here, is it, Jeff? We're in Tennessee.
No, it will be very cold by morning.
But we're in West Tennessee. Where's Clarksville, Tennessee?
Clarksville?
Why does that sound familiar?
That's north of Nashville.
Is that north? Yeah, maybe. So that's a couple hours away from us.
It's central.
Juliet says she's 30 miles from Chicago, and it looked like a snow globe out there at times. That's amazing. That's amazing. I love snow. We usually get at least one snowfall. Nothing that materialized or anything. Oh, George. So you guys, your clocks changed last week. When did we change? This week, right?
Saturday night.
My nose is itching again. Everybody that watches me regularly knows that I have some issue with being live and having my nose itch. It's insane. Yeah, I'm not looking forward to the time change. It always kind of knocks me down a little bit. Like I get a little more tired. Okay, so John chimed in. All ham in Australia is smoked. Pork is raw. Okay, very good. Mary, what can I do with pork belly? I have never cooked pork belly. I know that seems so crazy. I have never found it. I've never seen it anywhere. But it's like a fattier type of bacon, right? It's supposed to be delicious. Have we had pork belly? We've had it a couple times.
Yeah, I'm
not a huge fan of it, to be honest. I think it's over.
At restaurants.
Yeah, and have I never ever really raved about it?
It's a little too much.
It's rich, it's rich, it's fatty. But I mean, you can cook with it too. Wendy's saying pork belly with fresh green beans. Yeah, absolutely. But as far as what you could do with it, I'm going to have to go with the other people in the chat and ask them to chime in what you can do with it, because I've never cooked with it. So I'm not the right person to ask. Um, All right. So, Wendy, I have a question. We were gifted venison ground and whole. I want to make a chili. Any suggestions on cooking venison? Well, I mean, the ground venison is going to be leaner than your ground beef, but it's going to be great in chili. So, definitely, I would use the ground venison. If you wanted to use chunks of venison, so like one of the roast or something that they gave you, then you would need to know which one you have, because they cook very differently than, like there's and I don't even know what it's called on the deer, but what is it called? The backstrap?
The backstrap, I think it's a tenderloin.
Yeah, the backstrap is like the tenderloin. And let me tell you, if you cook that correctly, it is just as good as a beef tenderloin. It is just so deliciously yummy. Better. It's so good. So that would be something that you could put in chili, but I probably wouldn't, because I think it would be kind of a waste. If you use one of the tougher cuts of the venison, then you would want to make sure that you're simmering or pressure cooking long enough. And for most things, I mean, most meats, when you're cutting them into chunks, even if they're super tough, a 10-minute pressure cook on your chili is good, or an all-day simmer. Kangaroo burgers. All right. I don't think I've ever seen kangaroo meat here. I don't think Jeff's too excited about that. So, John, when we come to Australia, is that what we're going to have?
It sounds like it'd be a really lean meat because they're muscular.
Kangaroo burgers with Vegemite, please.
I think he's joking now.
Well, I mentioned the Vegemite.
I didn't think you could eat kangaroos.
I think you can eat kangaroo. I think there is kangaroo meat. Is there? Maybe not. Let's. I think there is. I mean, I think they do. Let's see. Well, of course, I'm coming up with kangaroo meat for dog food. Let's see. Let's see. Yeah, you can buy kangaroo meat online. It's high in protein, low in fat.
Yeah, I figured it would be very lean.
Yeah, interesting. Well, I've never had it. So, John, you'll have to fill me in on that. Okay. Spring Chaser. Louise, do you know anything about how to make a recipe safe canning approved? Okay. So I don't know. My mom was a big canner. So like I know a little bit about it. I don't know enough about it to create recipes that would be canning safe. Because really it's difficult for a person to create a recipe that is canning approved safe. You really want to look on or get the ball book and follow their recipes, because it's all about the acid levels, and they add things to boost that up. It's all about the processing too. Like there's certain things that need to be processed a certain way for safe canning. And there's certain things you just can't can. There might be something that you want to put in that recipe that isn't safe to put in there. So I recommend using the guidelines that Ball comes out with, because they test everything. Like they make sure that everything is the right ratios so that the bacteria can't grow once it's canned. Botulism is one of those things that is very concerning in canned foods, and when they're not done right, and you don't smell it and you can't taste it, and it can make you very sick. So yeah, it's not quite as easy. Like now when you're making jellies and stuff like that, there's so much sugar in there that it's a little bit easier. But bacteria needs water to survive, and they need a certain pH level to survive. So that's what the recipes concentrate on. So if there's no water in the recipe, so to speak, like because it's sugar, it's a sugar syrup, bacteria just doesn't grow in that as easily anyway. And I've never had a problem with canning jellies and things like that. But yeah, Even, jelly in your refrigerator, it stays good forever. I mean, if anything happens to it, it crystallizes. It doesn't really go bad. So yeah, but for anything else, I would just look. There's some great canning groups. Just make sure when you're joining canning groups that they have a no tolerance policy for canning hacks. Like, I mean, our grandparents and even my mom, I don't think she follows all the best practices. I'm not dead, but we have different meats now, different processes now. There's different things that go on. So I stay safe and use ball canning recipes if I'm going to do something. All right, Crystal has a question. Do you prefer buying the graham cracker crumbs already made or doing them like in a food processor? I I don't think I've ever bought graham cracker crumbs, but that's not to say that I wouldn't buy them if it makes life easier. But usually, as soon as you take that step from whole graham crackers to cracker crumbs, you're paying a premium for them. And I try to be as frugal as I can when I'm shopping. So I just process them myself, and I'll use a food processor, or I'll just put them in a bag and bag them right until they're the right size. I also tend to like when I do a graham cracker crust or a ginger crust, because I love using cookies, like a ginger cookie as a crust, for especially like key lime pie. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. I don't crumb them as much as when you buy them already crumbed. I like a little bit of texture even in my crust. So I like doing it myself. But that's just me, right? Um, it's perfectly fine to buy them. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe how bad my nose is itching. Okay, squid ink and chili. Squid ink and chili with black sesame bread buns colored black and red. Well, that sounds kind of fun, especially today, right? Um, okay. Yes, I have seen the impossible, it's the possible cooker. So it's the Ninja Possible Cooker Pro, and I have it. And I I don't know yet about it. So I've tried a few things in it. To me, it kind of reminds me of a slow cooker, but different. Um, but it slow cooks too fast. So like I tried to do my candied sweet potatoes in it because I'm doing a slow cooker sweet potato recipe, or at least I'm trying to get that done. In fact, it's in the foodie right now. Slow cooking, and it didn't do it evenly. But that's just one thing. Now I have a friend who has it and she loves it, right? So it depends on what your cooking style is and what you're trying to cook. I understand it has a sous vide function. I haven't tried that yet. So I'll be interested to see if that works pretty well because it's got a nice deep pot. I do like the fact that you can take the pot and you can put it in the oven. So if you're making a casserole, you could put the casserole in there and then you can put it in the oven. But it has really high sides. I mean, it's really a deep pot. So anyway, I have it. I don't really have much to say about it because I've only used it a handful of times. I did make a recipe in it for chicken linguine, and I was pretty impressed with that. But then I tried to transfer it to a slow cooker to be as a slow cooker recipe because there's a slow cook function on that, and I wanted to make sure it would work in a different slow cooker, and it didn't work as well because I think it just cooks too fast. It's too hot, in my opinion, for a slow cooker. But for some things, that'll be great. People will love it, right? Because if you want to get it done fast, it'll go really well. Um, Wendy says the mashed potatoes are her go-to. That's awesome. I love that. Um, Juliet, I'm not sure what cranberry recipe. I do have a cranberry, but you might be talking to somebody else. All right, let's see. Oh my gosh, Jen, listen to this, Jeff. Burgers with a maple caramelized onion chutney. Oh,
Sign me up.
sign me up. That sounds really, really good. Hi, Trisha. How are you? Um, oh, smash some. Yeah, maybe I'll make some and then I'll smash some and then I'll try to like crisp them up a little bit. Then we're talking about the cranberries. Oh, that cranberry recipe. My brain is on cranberries like um cranberry relish for some reason, which I do have a cranberry relish recipe. But that's right. We were talking about this. I'll put it in the chat there. Okay. Oh, sorry, I keep itching my nose. Hey, Jolene, I was wondering about you. I haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you again. All right, let's see. Debbie says Jeff's the critter whisperer. They're all following him around. Yes. Um, let's see. Gonna keep going down here. Hey, Brittany. All right, I'm going down. Erin, I have done an apple crisp. It's in my Flavors of Fall cookbook, which it was just brought to my attention that the page to buy it is not working. So, and I have not had time to fix that. I don't even know what the problem is. I thought I had a fix. It didn't work. I'm going to have to rebuild the page. So if you have the Flavors of Fall cookbook, Erin, it's in there. And oh my gosh, it's amazing. It's so good. It's got a shortbread crust. It's kind of like a little bit of a spin, or I guess my pumpkin crumbles a spin off of that. It's really amazing. Thanks, KO. I appreciate it. Okay, Shirley, where can I buy a crisper basket for my Ninja 6 quart? The only one I can find will cost Australian $80. Gosh, in Australia, I don't know. In the US, we get them from the Ninja site. So I don't know though. John, would you know? Maybe John will know because he's in Australia. I don't really know because like a lot of the stores that might sell the Ninja products aren't going to necessarily sell that, right? So oh, Susie, so we're going back to the ham. Wrap it up in quilt so that it would stay hot for the 24 hours. But what would you do with the quilts afterwards? I think of these beautiful quilts that people make, and I think of a big bedspread. And I think that's like a little cumbersome for a ham, but I get it. That's awesome. Gosh, my nose. I'm so sorry. I feel like it's turning red because I'm itching it so much. Oh, Spring Chaser, thank you so much. And I'm glad you're liking the foodie. That's awesome. Hi, a look into history. Waving from Tennessee. Let's see. Yeah. Sue's saying they don't change their clocks in Arizona. That's right. I do remember that. Yep. John saying that pork belly was always a cheap roast and then cooking shows made it trendy and the price went sky high. Isn't that the case with everything? Isn't that the way it is? It's so funny because there's some really some cuts of beef that were super inexpensive, right? And they were just like almost garbage cuts. But the chefs figured out a way to prepare them and cook them, and now they're pricey. That's the way it goes.
Lobster used to be poor people food.
Did it?
Yep.
Wow, I didn't realize that. All right, let's see. That's interesting, Jen. Jen says she's seen a lot of pork belly in Asian cooking. I don't think I've seen that.
Huh.
That's interesting.
Because we haven't seen a lot of Asian cooking other than.
Yeah, except for, but I mean, I like Asian food, but when we go out, I don't ever see it on the menu or anything. All right. John saying backstrap is the best for barbecue. I bet it's super tender. Yeah, that's on the venison. Okay, John is answering you, Jeff. No joke, Jeff. Kangaroo meat is very lean, healthy meat. Does it taste gamey?
Probably farm raised.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I guess. I can't imagine that they go out and shoot the kangaroos, but maybe they do. Who knows? Not here though, because we don't have them. um, okay, yeah, Jolene's saying, I know the hunters in my family don't give up the back straps. Nope, 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 nope. They are the best. Oh my gosh, they're the best. I'm not a huge deer lover. I mean, okay, I'm a huge deer lover. I'm not a huge venison meat eater. I love deer, but I like to look at them out in the yard. And I don't have anything. I don't have any issues with hunting or anything. Um, my family hunts. My good friend hunted. So no problems there. I've actually skinned a deer. Yeah, partially. Um, that was fun. That was fun when my good friend who lived around the corner from us when we were in Maryland, he came with like a big bag over his shoulder and he had gotten 2 sick of deers. And I put on a sweatshirt. We went outside to the garage and I'm like, show me how it's done. Show me how it's done. He had a thing in my garage that was up on the ceiling and he would hang it up there. And I was like, show me. So yeah, it was interesting. Um, all right, let's see here. Okay, there's a nice little chat about kangaroo meat. All right. Louise, my middle son bought me this big expensive pressure canner. I said that he's doing it right. Oh my gosh. So is it an electric one? Because I think there's only one, if it's even approved. I think there's only one electric pressure cooker canner that's approved. But I'm not even sure if that's approved. I thought I was going to get into pressure canning years ago. So I have a huge pressure canner. It takes forever for that thing to come up, to boil the water and everything. I'm like, this is too complicated. So if I can things, I just stick with water bath canning. So I only can can certain things because you can pressure can certain things and you can water bath can certain things. I guess you could probably pressure can anything you can water bath, but you can't water bath can everything you can pressure can. All right. Jolene's saying that National Center for Home Preserving is a great resource. Sutton Days on YouTube. Good, good. Thanks for those resources. Oh, well, thank you, Spring Chaser. I don't know if my canning advice is good, but I'm glad you got something from it. Oh, the ginger crust recipe. So the ginger crust is actually already on my website. I use it I know I use it in my key lime pie. I think I use it in my key lime cheesecake, which is a no bake type, but I'm not positive. I think I do, but I will post this right now. I love the ginger crust. Oh my gosh, it's so amazing. It's just crushed up. Well, do I crush up the ginger snaps in this one? Let me see. Do I actually I put some cinnamon in there. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So basically it's 2 cups of ginger snaps, 2 tablespoons of sugar, 2 teaspoons of cinnamon, and a 1/4 cup of butter will make one basic pie crust. Okay, let's see. Okay, a girl in a garden says, I like your white cabinet. This actually, where did we buy that, Jeff?
What?
The white cabinet over there.
This one?
Yeah.
Oh, that was in Corinth at that.
Yeah, we bought it. We bought it locally. But that doesn't mean it didn't come from somewhere. It came from somewhere, right? But we bought it locally. Okay, so Wendy's got a 1/4 bushel of apples. Help me. Apple butter, apple butter, apple butter all the way. And you can make, I have an apple cake that's absolutely beautiful. So I will post that. I'm like dropping the recipe links like crazy tonight. But this is the apple cake. It is amazing. Apple butter. We'll get that one out. Um, And then you could also you can make that apple butter bourbon barbecue. Although I don't know, I think I use apple butter in that. So you'd have to make the apple butter first and then make the barbecue sauce. Let's see, apple butter. And then there is also one that I have. What is it? Let me think. Oh, it's the apple filling. Let me see if I can find what I called it. It goes along with my 10-minute apple pie. Because yeah, homemade apple pie filling. So the premise behind my 10-minute apple pie is that you do things ahead of time. So you make your pie filling in the pressure cooker, and it does reduce down, and you have to cut the apples really big or you're going to end up with just applesauce, which is another great thing. You can make applesauce. But the apple pie filling, then you can chill it and then freeze it, and then you can thaw it to make your apple pies. Might be a little bit more runny, but you could drain off a little bit of the juice after you thaw it. And then the 10-minute apple pie, you already have the pie crust. You could buy it or you can blind bake it like I do. And then you put a crumble topping on, and it takes 10 minutes in the Ninja Foodie to put that pie together. So it's a great thing for Thanksgiving when you want to get things done ahead of time, or you're having a party, you want to make an apple pie for dessert, but you want to have it all done beforehand. So you are just freshly baking it. That is the pie for you. I saw somebody asking for cranberry chutney, I think. And I have a cranberry apple chutney that I happen to think is fantastic. But of course, I wouldn't put my recipes out if I didn't think they were fantastic. So I'm not really probably the best, not that objective. All right. There we go. Okay. What am I drinking? This is basically just a watered down vodka and cherry, like a cherry crystal light thing. Nothing great. It's red. I figured Halloween, I'll make something red. I don't know why that makes a difference, but that's what I did. Oh, Crystal's saying she's used a graham cracker crust when making pumpkin pie. That's interesting. Does it hold up? That's interesting, Crystal. Leanne says allergies to my computer. Why my nose itches? Well, it's different computers. I don't know why it is. It happens. It does not happen when I'm filming videos. It does not happen to me when I'm in front of the computer during the day. It is only when I'm live for Q&As and Tasty Tuesday. That's it. That's the only time my nose itches. It's really crazy. I've not figured it out. All right, let's see. Keep going down. Oh, Susie, this is making more sense now. Okay, so you wrap the quilts around the stand that you have it boiled in. I get you now. Okay. All right. I was thinking that you took the ham and put them in the quilts and wrapped them up. And I was like, that's a little different. Okay, got it. All right. All right. So George got an email from Ninja UK last week for early access to Black Friday deals, signed up and got a link, but it only lists black and copper editions that seem expensive. Editions of what? Black and copper editions of the Ninja Foodie, maybe? Is this the best I can expect? Well, it's a little early to tell, but given what the retailers have done in the past, I think we'll start to see the sales pretty soon. They don't really do Black Friday anymore like they did before when it was just the one day. Now it seems to be the whole month, so, or at least 2 weeks. So we'll see. We'll see what happens. Join our Ninja deals and discounts groups, and Lauren and I will be on it. We have not been posting a whole lot recently just because everything's been redundant. It's been the same things over and over and over again. So we kind of pulled back a little bit so that it doesn't get too boring for people, like seeing the same things over and over. But we're hoping that we'll have some good deals to share with you guys coming up in the next couple weeks. All right. All right. Yeah, Susie, definitely send me the details. That's pretty cool. I don't have anything I don't think that I could cook it in. But that it sounds really cool. All right, Crystal, do you like using glass pie plates better or like aluminum ones better? Well, it's not that I like one better than the other, but they do cook differently. So it depends on what's more important to me. I tend to go towards the aluminum ones because I think they bake more evenly and they keep the crust a little bit firmer. But glass can be prettier to serve in. You just have to know that it conducts heat a little bit differently than aluminum. So you may have to bake a little bit longer. But either is fine. I mean, you just make little adjustments. But I don't have a preference. I do usually use aluminum just because that's what I have. I think I have one pie that's glass and I don't use it very much. So maybe that is my answer. I do have a preference. I use aluminum. Um, George, that's interesting. I can't really answer because I don't remember like what they did last year or the year before or the year before that. I think like maybe 3 years ago, there were some really good deals on the Ninja Foodie around Black Friday, but I don't think they came from Ninja themselves. So, I always keep my eyes open for other stores. I find that Kohl's has some of the best deals you could ever find, especially if you have their credit card and you get the 30% off or the 40% off. I mean, that's kind of my go-to. I don't buy directly from Ninja too often. Occasionally I have, like when they don't offer something that I want or feel like I need for a video, I'll have to buy directly. But if I can, I'll just shop around for the best deal on it. But when you do that, you do have to pay attention because, Ninja creates different model numbers for different types of stores. So, like Sam's might have its own model number because it includes something that the other stores don't. QVC might have its own model number, and be it might have an added function or missing a function or added accessory. Usually with QVC and with not Cole, Sam's or Costco, they have added accessories. Usually that's what I see. Or with QVC and what's the other one? What's that other shopping network? Home Shopping Network. Yeah. They tend to come out with the colors of different appliances when they're not offered in colors in other places. I forgot where I was going with that. Oh, and Walmart, like when you see a deal on Walmart and people think it's a great deal, and sometimes it will be, right? But no, with Walmart appliances, usually they are missing something. So they're missing a function or several functions. So just pay attention when you're shopping around so that you know what deal to get. That's why if you are shopping for appliances and things like that, whether they're Ninja Foodie, we don't do too many things that are not Ninja. But we do some. If we see a good deal on something that isn't Ninja, Food Saver, Ninja doesn't have one. If I see a good deal on a Food Saver, I'm going to post it. But I'm only going to post a good deal if I think it is a good deal all the way around. So like a good deal is only as good as the quality of what you're getting, right? So if I think it's going to break in 2 minutes, I don't care if it's $2, it's not a good deal because it's going to break. So it's a nice group. You can ask questions if you want, things like that. I mean, there's not a lot of posting going on except for Lauren and I, but you can definitely, call and not call, but you can definitely ask questions in there if you are unsure about the differences between different models at different stores. All right. All right, Lisa. What's your opinion about using, and I'm going to go back up. Okay. I skipped down, I hit a button and it skipped all the way down. So I'll go back up and get through the rest of them. So if I skipped you, just hang on. I'm going to go up. Okay. What is your opinion about using an off-brand seal for the Ninja pressure cooker lid? So whenever you're looking at third party or aftermarket type of things, I don't have any problem with them. Okay. I read the comments and see if they work, right? Because I mean, that's the thing. Does it work? So the only thing that's going to happen if you don't like let you get an off-brand seal, I've used them. They work fine. I've never had any issues. Now I'm using All Ninja because the company that put out the ones that I was using isn't a company I want to ever be associated with. So I've just switched back to Ninja all the way. But I never had any problems with them. And they were a lot less expensive. Will they wear out quicker? Sure. But it's not like by buying the seal that you're going to have your pressure cooker blow up. That's not how it works. If the seal doesn't work, you're just not going to go under pressure and you're going to know, well, I need to return that because it didn't work. So yeah, I think you're perfectly fine if it's a good deal. And you read the comments and people aren't saying that it's, flimsy and doesn't work, then it'll be fine. The seals are a little bit different for the OL series. So the OL 501, 601, and 701. And I'm sorry for everybody over in the UK. I don't know what your model numbers are. They might be like 650, 750, something like that. But the smart lid, the seals are different. And I have never tried to put in one of my old 2-lid model seals into the newer model. So I don't even know. I don't think they're interchangeable though. So just make sure you're getting the right one for the right type of appliance that you have. Okay, let me go back up here and see what I if I missed anything. Let's see. I'm going back up. Oh, that's right, Brittany. The apple fritter recipe. I forgot about that. That's right. Oh my gosh, those are so good. All right. I think I got everybody. And I know you're getting lots of apple advice, things to make with apples. Craig, the cats are always having a good time in the background. Yep. Now they're underneath the table here playing around. They just run around and whoa. That was Boots. Boots, honey, you're like messing me all up. Yeah, that was a little. What are you doing? Come over here. You want to come on camera? No, I'm shy, Mom. You're not shy. Come on. Bootsy. Oh, he jumped in the box. And then the box slid. Okay. All right. Let's see. Got that one. Happy birthday, Jolene. All right. Wendy wants to know the pets' names. We have Boots, which is a cat. We have Lady May, which is a cat. We have Callie, which is our girl dog. We have Gus, which is our little guy, and we have George, which is our big pit bull. Okay, so George is saying that the black and copper editions in the UK appear to be special editions where the color is black and copper. Oh, okay. With some other accessories. They seem quite expensive compared to the standard versions. Yeah. I haven't heard anything like, I mean, not that I would, I'm not in the know. I mean, I don't have any insider information about Ninja or anything like that. I'm not affiliated with them in any way. So I don't know anything, but I have not heard anything, like nothing about a new Ninja Foodie coming out, a new pressure cooker version. I don't know. They're putting out all kinds of other stuff, but it's kind of like the main Ninja Foodie, which like I think is still the most amazing appliance on the planet. Nothing. I don't think they're doing a new one. So maybe that's their way of doing a special edition, right? I mean, they're not upgrading or doing any different things that I know of anyway. So maybe the black and copper is just a new edition. Be interesting to see if it's in the US. I find it so interesting how the UK will get certain things before we do, and then we get most before they do. But there are certain things like the flex drawer air fryer was in the UK way before it was here. At least I think so. I remember somebody messaging me about it. I'm like, I don't even know what that is. It's not even available here. And that is pretty interesting. It is now, but it wasn't at the time. Okay. All right. Let's see. Marshmallow advice. So let's just take a few more questions and then I'm going to head off because my sweet potatoes are pretty much done and the ham. Oh, I know. Jeff, would you do me a favor, sweetie? Will you take that ham out of the foodie, put it on a plate, and I will show people what it looks like. And don't judge me because it's just test, okay? It'll be prettier. It'll be prettier when it's all fine-tuned and done. Because this was the first one I did in the foodie. And I think I might have broiled it a little bit too long and burned it a little bit. But it's probably not really burned. It's just sugar. Not that one.
That's not a ham.
Yep. You got two choices. 50-50 chance, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you have marshmallow advice? I'm making some right now. I want to try making strawberry sauce, cream, and pecan ones at some point, and cylindrical instead of squares, which are made by piping. I wish I did. I have wanted to make marshmallows, homemade marshmallows, for a very long time, and I have not done it. So I have zero for you because I have never done them before. Yeah, so keep me informed of how that goes. And if anybody in the chat knows how to or has any advice for making marshmallows, please share. I mean, I think it's just sugar and water, isn't it? I mean, it's real basic. I can't even remember, but it's basic. Mary says she uses clear glass because she likes looking at the crust. Yeah, that's true too. You can see the crust, see how it's doing. All right. Jen is saying that Target Black Friday deals for Ninja. Yeah, Target. I kind of forget about Target a lot because I'm such a Kohl's girl. I forget about Target. We don't have shops around here. I can't go shopping unless I drive an hour. All right. So I know you're going to think it looks burned. It's not burned. Now remember, I said I just cheated. I only wanted to do the top. So this is the sugar coating. Now for the recipe, it will be extended all the way around, but it really, let me turn it around this way. And then I already picked at it some because you have to when you're cooking. It's so good. Oh my gosh. All right, babe. Wow. Did you pick at it?
Well, I didn't have any of it.
Oh.
Sugary top.
Okay, we'll pick at it and then tell us what you think. How often should the steels be replaced on the pressure cooker? This is a good question. If they go bad, I replace them. I don't stick to a schedule, but people say every 6 months. You'll know they'll start getting stretched out. I always have a spare.
Ooh, I like the orange there.
But I've only had one go bad, honestly. So it really depends. It depends on how you care for it, those kind of things.
That's like spiced tea flavor like that.
Oh, can I have some?
Cloves are really coming through. Oh my gosh. It's better than the last time.
It is better than the last time?
It's totally different than.
Oh my gosh. Okay. So let me get some of this. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Orange and cloves is what I got.
Oh, that is so good. Oh my goodness, that's so good. That's really nicely balanced. Oh my gosh.
That's better than the store-bought.
Yeah. Okay. Any opinions about the hot and cold blender? Well, personally, I love it, but you can't find them anymore. I love my hot and cold blender. Love it, love it, love it. But they're not selling them. I guess I don't know. They just have kind of done away with them, which is a shame because I got a ton of recipes on my website because I thought that was going to go over really big, but it just didn't. People have had problems cleaning them. I haven't had any issues. Some people had issues with mold. I haven't had any issues. So mine's been good. All right. Anne wants to know what the name of the Ninja Combi group is. It should be Ninja Combi recipe and tips. Let me see if I can find it here for you. I'll just put a link in. I'm pretty impressed with the combi. I'll be honest. I think was it on Tasty Tuesday that I was saying how I was mad at it, and I was going to send it back, and it was too small, and this, that, and the other. And then I was doing my bread video, and I decided I was going to force myself to use the combi, and I like fell in love with it that minute. I was like, wow, this is great. Plus, I did a live. And I did a speedy versus combi live in my speedy group. And it was amazing the way it cooked. I was pretty impressed. What did I do? I did salmon, vegetables, and linguine, right? It's pretty good. Okay, and I put the link in for that. Okay, let's see. I'm gonna get down here and finish up. My stomach's starting to growl. It's time to eat dinner. Husband is probably starving. Okay. Debbie, it tastes amazing. I know you're talking about the ham. It tastes amazing. All right, let's see. Okay, so George, that is a boneless spiral ham, half like a little, I don't know, quarter ham, half ham, whatever. So I don't know what the equivalent would be in Scotland or in the UK. Maybe somebody else can chime in. I'm sorry, I'm reading Hartnett's comment here. I'll put it up. Yeah, it's very easy. I did not understand why in the recipes I read it said medium hard for people who bake frequently. I'm making it as part of another recipe. Yeah, I've heard they're really easy to make. I just haven't gotten around to it. I did make some peppermint. What are those things called, Jeffrey?
I don't know what they're called.
I forget now too. You didn't put my lid back on for my slow cook sweet potatoes.
I couldn't get it on.
You couldn't get it on.
There's too much pressure.
They're probably there's no pressure in there. It's slow cooking. What was I gonna say? Oh, what are those things? Peppermint. I have totally lost the thought. They're egg whites and sugar whipped. And then they go into the oven, which I like to dehydrate mine. I think they turn out better. What are they called? Oh my gosh, I've only just made them 100 times. Meringues. Oh my gosh. So they're peppermint meringue cookies, and they are amazingly delicious. They are beautiful to look at. Oh my gosh. They're just amazing. I've got a bunch of cookie recipes coming out. So, and they're not going to be in the Ninja or anything like that. They are oven because, I want to get the whole thing done. Except for the peppermint meringues, you can make them in any Ninja appliance that has the dehydration function. So I'm going to do some in the video. I'll do some in my regular oven. Actually, I'm going to do them in the XL Ninja oven because it works better. And I'll show the ones that came out of the oven. They don't stay as white. They just get a little bit darker. And for Christmas, especially, like the way I decorate them, I like them to be like really, really bright white. So anyway, I think that's about it. Let's see. Oh, Mary. So yeah, this is different. Okay. So I've always done the pineapple juice, brown sugar, blah, blah, blah. This is totally different. This sugar crust takes your ham to a whole nother level. I mean, it is like most amazing thing. It's the best ham I've ever had in my life. Really. When I first tasted the honey baked ham, because I had to buy one, right? Because I had to know what I was doing. I was like, what? No wonder people pay $80 for this. Now let me figure out how to make it for a lot less money. And that's what I've been doing. Macaroons, they are on my list, John. I've attempted to make them once, but I didn't have the right ingredients and it was a mess. I mean, it sort of turned out okay. Definitely not what I would want, right? But they're going to be on my list. I'm going to really try to do this. I think I'm going to try to do those probably in the spring. I'm going to try to really get into doing the macarons or macarons there's two different kinds. I'm talking about the ones that have the two cookies and then the filling inside. Okay, let's see. All right, I'm gonna go. Oh, okay. So, John, yeah, you just brought up the golden syrup on the ham. Yeah. So, I have been testing the golden syrup recipe, and I've not gotten it right yet, but I'm getting closer. Okay. So, I am hoping that I'm going to be able to get that recipe out because for everybody in the United States, order yourself from Amazon some golden syrup. It is the most amazing flavor of syrup that I've ever had in my life. Now, Jeff happens to think the one that I made this last time was better, but I don't necessarily agree with that. I think it was a little bit different because of the type of sugar I used. But I've just bought another type of cane sugar. So I'm going to try it with that. I'm trying to really get that flavor spot on. I've got the technique down. Now it's about getting that flavor. And there's only two ingredients. I mean, it's the sugar and the water, right? That's it. So I have to get the right kind of sugar, apparently, because what I've been using is not quite there. All right, Glenna wants to know if I'm going to be doing a ham video. Yes, I hope so. This is my second test. I got one more to go, and if I can get it to look and be exactly the way I want, then yes, I'll have a video. Sorry, I didn't mean to put that up there. Let's see. Yes, I got the Lyles, and yes, it is. Like, I can't believe that I even stumbled across this. I wanted to make dumplings, but I wanted to make dessert dumplings. So, my idea is to have like a nicely spiced type of light dumpling that then gets boiled in a sugar water and then will get lightly coated, right? And I'm trying to do it in the slow cooker. It didn't exactly work out the way I wanted it to. So I think I'm going to switch gears a little bit. But I ran across this dessert, I don't know, some golden syrup dumpling thing. And I was like, well, that sounds kind of what I want to do. And it was using this golden syrup. And I said, well, let me order some. And it's amazing. So now I'm trying to recreate it for the people in the US like me who can't get it. And it is kind of pricey to buy. I mean, it's not over the top, but it's probably like $7 or $8 or something for sugar water. I mean, sugar syrup. Anyway, all right. So April, let's see. I have the ultimate blender. How do I make cookie dough in it? I'm still trying to figure out how to use it. Was great when I was making baby food. The ultimate blender, I don't know if it has the dough attachment. So when you're making cookie dough, you don't necessarily want to have a blade cutting through everything. You want to have an attachment that is more maybe plastic. So I don't know if that one has it or not. My blender has it, and it has a dough function, like a cookie dough function. But well, that was a different kind of cookie. That was a pecan ball. Pecan ball cookies can be made in a blender because it's just crushing up pecans and stuff like that. But to make a true cookie dough, like a chocolate chip cookie dough or something, you would want to not use the blades. You want to use something that's plastic. So if it has it, then you can do that. All right. No, Wendy, it's not peach. It's just like the nectar of gods. So golden syrup reminds me of, gosh, the closest I can think of, and I haven't had it in so many years, maybe King syrup, if anybody remembers that. I can't even find it now, but it kind of reminds me of King syrup, but it's like a sugar syrup meets butter and honey, but it's only sugar and water that creates this magic, the way that it's slowly simmered and slowly caramelized. It's just wonderful. It's just wonderful, really. Um, then if it has a dough attachment, April, then I would use a pulse button. If it doesn't have a special button or anything, just use your pulse button to get your cookie dough to come together. All right. I think that's it. And we have been live for, gosh, again, longer than an hour. As always, it's been a blast. Now I get to go warm up that ham. I don't even think I'm going to warm it up because it's perfectly fine cold, and finish up these sweet potatoes, which I think I'm getting closer to nailing that one. And it's going to be amazing when I'm done with it. Like, it's going to be amazing. I'm putting a meringue topping on it. Okay, guys, forget the marshmallows. We're going to do meringue, and it's better. Okay, it's not quite as like that sweet. It's just, I don't know. Personally, I think candied sweet potatoes with marshmallows is over the top sweet. So I wanted to kind of tone it down some, and the meringue does that. It's still sweet. It feels like marshmallows that you're eating, but it is not as sweet. And it's just, oh, it's so good. But now I'm just trying to get the syrup, the correct consistency, because for candied sweet potatoes, you need it to be certain consistency, which would be the consistency of golden syrup. Excuse me. All right, guys. Good night. I love you all. Thank you so much for hanging out. Happy Halloween. And I will see. Oh, wait a minute. We got to talk. I don't think I will see you next week. I have not made a final decision about next week yet. So you just be on notice that there may not be a Tasty Tuesday. If there isn't, I will post it on YouTube as a community thing, and I will post it also on my Facebook page. I definitely will not be live for the Q&A on the 14th. I will not be doing the Tasty Tuesday on the 21st, and I will probably be back for the Q&A on November 28th. So there's a chance that I won't see you guys for a little bit, and that is because I am traveling and also taking a little bit of a break. So I wanted to just build in a little bit of a break, and that's my break would be next week. So I haven't decided totally if I'm really going to take that or not. But anyway, have a great Thanksgiving for everybody who celebrates that. If I don't see you before the end of November, but I'll keep you guys posted in the community. There's a way for me to post in YouTube, and there's a way for me to, obviously I can post on my Facebook page. So if you don't see me, don't get worried. I'm just traveling a little bit and enjoying my family that I haven't seen in quite some time. So, all right. I love you guys. See you later.